Going to call the meeting for Committee of Adjustment for July the 27th, 2021. Call the meeting open, regular meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Brad.
Moved by Brad. Seconded by Bill. All in favor? Carried. Does anyone have any items of a pecuniary interest or the general nature of this evening? Seeing none. Do we have a motion to adopt and signing of the minutes as circulated? Motion by Bill, second by Brad. All in favor? Carried. Any business arising from those minutes? Seeing none. Statement of precedent for this evening's meeting. Any decision reached by this committee tonight cannot be used to set a precedent. The following public hearings are to consider applications for minor variance as follows. Number one, being the application for minor variance, A24-2020 by 224-4278 Ontario Incorporated, affecting property described as part lot 26 and 27, concession 1, being lots 39 to 47 on approved draft plan extension of Gilmer Crescent. And number two, the application for minor variance by Melissa Breers, affecting property described as lot 27 and part of lot 28, plan 458, known as 66681, Perth line 88. The purpose of these hearings is to give the committee and the public an opportunity to hear all the interested persons with respect to the proposed applications and receive their input, and for the committee to make a decision on the application. All persons attending this hearing will be given an opportunity to be heard or make a presentation. Committee members may ask questions for the purposes of clarifying the application, but are asked to withhold comments on this application until all present have been given an opportunity to be heard. Any person present who wishes to receive written notice of decision made by the Committee of Adjustment is asked to give their name and mailing address to the Secretary Treasurer at this time. An appeal to the local planning appeal board objecting to the decision made at this hearing may be filed with the Secretary Treasurer not later than August the 16th, 2021. No written notice except as previously noted will be given unless requested at this time. Okay, first application is a minor variance, A24-2020 by 2244-278 Ontario Incorporated, affecting property described as part lots 26 and 27, concession 1, being lots 39 to 47 on approved draft plan, extension of Gilmore Crescent. The registrants are Chris Pidgeon, Mike Malloy, and Christine Deckert. I will now call on the planner to present the planning report and recommendations. Sean?
Thank you, and good evening, committee members. Application for minor variance A24-2020, submitted by GSP Group on behalf of the property owner, is requesting a variance to the zoning bylaw provisions to reduce the setback from the McCracken municipal drain from 15 meters to 7.5 meters to permit the construction of single-family dwellings on the proposed lots, which are noted as lots 39 to 47 on the draft approved plan. These lots are part of a draft plan of subdivision approval, the Emerald Green draft plan of subdivision phase 3. However, the plan has not yet been registered, and it is my understanding that the plan is in the final stages of registration. As such, we have elected to move forward with the public meeting and provide the summary of this application. However, staff is recommending that the committee defer a decision until the subdivision has final registration. The subject lands are within the residential designation and are within the residential 1 zone. The proposed dwellings are permitted. However, section 34(1) of the North Perth zoning bylaw, which is the adjacent land area, states that no development is permitted within 15 meters of any water course, including drains. The McCracken Municipal Drain is located west of the subject lands, adjacent with the rear yards of the proposed lots, and are within the 15-meter setback. Now, when reviewing minor applications for minor variances, the committee must ensure that all 4 requirements specified under Section 45(1) of the Planning Act are satisfied. This includes that the that the variance meets the intent of the official plan, that it meets the intent of the zoning bylaw, that it is minor in nature and it is a desirable form of development. It is the opinion of staff that these 4 requirements have been satisfied. However, we are still recommending deferral of a decision. The McCracken Municipal Drain is located west of the subject lands, with the rear yards of the proposed lots within the 15-meter setback, meaning that the properties are restricted as to where buildings can be placed. The setback requirement from municipal drains and water courses is to ensure that buildings are set back an appropriate distance to alleviate any flooding concerns that may occur. As a result of the relief requested, the applicant was referred to the Maitland Valley Conservation Authority, or the MVCA, to discuss the potential flood risks. A floodplain assessment was subsequently prepared and submitted by K-Smart Associates and reviewed by MVCA. MVCA is satisfied with the assessment and have no concerns with the decreased minimum setback from the McCracken Drain, provided the lots can be brought up to the noted elevation identified in the assessment. The grading work identified in the K-Smart and Associates report will require a permit under Ontario Regulation 164/06 with the MVCA. If grading of phase 3 is proposed to be completed prior to the development of each individual lot, the MVCA will require submission of a final grading plan, including all identified lots as part of a complete application. Or if the final grading is proposed to take place gradually on a lot-by-lot basis, a local benchmark should be set indicating the flood elevation established in the report, whereby each lot can easily reference and access a single consistent benchmark. Staff also feel that this should be included as a condition of the minor variance approval. However, as staff noted, the draft plan of subdivision has not yet been registered. We do not have any concerns with the proposed variance, but are recommending that the application should be deferred until the plan has final registration. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation, speak in opposition to the application? And I request that they give their name and address for the record when they are recognized. Hearing none, is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in support of the application other than the applicant agent? And I request that they give their name and address for the record when they are recognized. Hearing none, does the applicant agent have any comments in respect to the application? No one present. Are there any questions from the committee members?
Sorry, it's Bruce.
Yep. Yes, Brad.
Through you, Sean, I just was like Public Works. Were they ever consulted? Do they have any issue with their access being tightened up to get back to that drain?
So thank you for the question. It was, yes, this was discussed with Public Works, uh, and my understanding is have been doing work back there at some point, part of their drain at some point. But with regard to the recommendation and the condition, Public Works does not have an issue, and we chatted about including it as a condition of this minor variance, and they agreed with that approach as well.
Sorry, what part of it did they want as part of the condition?
The part that was the recommendation of the K-SMART assessment, which would require a benchmark placed at the flood elevations. Yeah.
Okay. But they have no concerns with being able to maintain that drain. And I don't know if that's Public Works or if that goes to the Scott Richardson, maybe.
There was never any noted concern about access to it. I believe there is some, I have to look again at this point, but I believe there is offsite access from another side, but I'm not, they never noted any concerns to myself.
Okay.
One other question, Sean. With this affects the original construction of the residents on the on those lots. What about subsequent construction of sheds or detached garages or decks and that type of thing? Are they under the same restrictions?
That's a good question. This variance really only addresses the main dwelling. My understanding is that the structures would still be subject to this. So if they could have the accessory structure within 7.5 meters, then that would be no problem. But anything beyond that would be an issue.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions?
I have one, Bruce.
Yes, go ahead, Ed.
We're talking about a benchmark for these lots that they have to meet the grading to, or grade 2. Why can't they submit a new log grading plan for all those lots based on that benchmark?
So my understanding is if the first part of the recommendation of the condition is that if it was all built together, then they would require that grading plan. But I guess they had this just in case it comes forward where each lot is built out on a separate basis. This was, yeah.
Oh, there's Bill back.
Yeah.
Brad, okay. We're back.
That was interesting.
Okay, continue, Sean.
So I'm not really sure how much of that was caught, but essentially the recommendation includes either whether they come forward and develop build on all the lots at the same time, then they would require that grading plan. But in the case that the lots are sold individually and then built out individually, they want that benchmark just to have there. If you feel that the approach to have it through a final lot grading plan makes more sense, then that's something that we could certainly discuss.
The reason I bring that up is normally on a plan of subdivision, there are benchmarks established, and there are, like, they do show a grade plan for each individual lot, and then whenever they apply for a building permit, they look at that they look at the grade plan that they have to follow, and they submit a site grade plan along with their application. So I just wonder if it'd probably be more prudent to have something that they could follow, because you're going to have applicants coming in here, and they're going to be asking us for a grade plan that they have to follow for that individual lot. And if there was something already established based on MVCA's elevations. I think that'd be the way to go.
Yeah, maybe just to add on to Ed's comment there, I would suspect that through this, like I would suspect that they should have to have a complete updated site grading plan that's submitted to the town, so they can submit that to your town engineer for them to review and approve it, just to make sure that there's nothing else that's being affected. I don't think it.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense to have individual lots submitted. At the time of building permit, this would have to be done, but for the subdivision approval, I think you have to have that whole plan.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Are we ready for a motion?
Yeah, I would motion to defer to Sean's remarks there.
Okay. You second that, Bill? Okay. We have a motion moved by Brad, seconded by Bill, that the committee defer the application of minor variance as submitted by GSP Group and 2244278 Ontario Incorporated, Gateman Malloy, affecting the lands described as part lot 26 and 27, concession 1, being lots 39 to 47, approved draft plan, Gilmer Crescent, Listowel, in the Listowel ward, until the draft plan of subdivision approved by GSP Group on behalf of 2244278 Ontario Incorporated, Emerald Green draft plan of subdivision phase 3, 31T-91002 has received final registration. All in favor? Carried. Okay, moving on to item 2, application for minor variance by Melissa Breers affecting property described as lot 27 and lot 28, part of lot 28, plan 458, known as 6681 Perth line 88. I will call on the planner to present the planning report and his recommendations.
Thank you. So application for a minor variance A10 2021 submitted by the property owners is requesting a variance to the North Perth zoning bylaw provisions to increase the maximum height for an accessory building from 4.5 meters or 15 feet to 6.5 meters or 21.5 feet. If approved, the property owner will be permitted to construct a proposed detached accessory structure in the form of a personal workshop and storage shed with a 4.2 municipal office. So I think that's what's
being
going on there.
Okay, you're back, Sean.
Ooh, right.
We've been here the whole time.
Yeah, it's funny because you guys seem to drop out, the people in the municipal office. So I don't know where we dropped out here, but essentially the applicants are looking to increase the maximum height for an accessory building from 4.5 meters to 6.5 meters. If approved, the property owner will be permitted to construct a proposed detached accessory structure in the form of a personal workshop and storage shed with a 4.2 meter or 14-foot overhead door on the west side of the structure. The building plans were attached to the staff report for the committee's reference. The subject property, located at 6681 Perth line 88 in Curtsville, is an interior lot located on the south side of Perth line 88 and contains an existing single detached dwelling. The property recently added a parcel of land to the rear yard through an application for consent for a lot addition at file number B3620. The proposed accessory structure is located towards the rear portion of the property on the lands that were recently merged with the subject lands. The property is bounded by residential uses to the east and west, with agricultural uses located to the south. The property has a lot area of approximately 0.4 hectares or 0.98 acres. The subject property is largely within the hamlet designation and is within the Hamlet Village Residential Zone, or the HVR zone. Accessory buildings in this zone are permitted, however, with a maximum height of 4.5 meters or 15 feet. As I noted, the applicants are requesting to increase the height to 6.55 meters. Now, when reviewing an application for a minor variance, the committee must ensure that all 4 requirements are specified under Section 45(1) of the Planning Act are satisfied. It is the opinion of staff that these 4 requirements have been satisfied. The proposed structure and use is permitted. However, the height of accessory buildings are limited by the zoning bylaw to ensure orderly and appropriate development standards in residential areas, to avoid compatibility and privacy issues with neighboring parcels, and to ensure the accessory use is, the accessory use contained within the building is appropriate. The proposed structure meets all applicable provisions with the exception of the relief requested, which is the height of the accessory building, and is in a location that does not present any concerns. The applicants have proposed the building to accommodate a personal workshop and storage, including the storage of a recreational vehicle, which has been noted to require a 14-foot overhead door. Staff feels that the increase to the maximum height permitted for an accessory building from 4.5 meters to 6.5 meters is minor in nature and does not negatively impact the surrounding properties. As such, it is the staff recommendation that the committee approve the application for a minor variance. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation or speak in opposition of the application? And I request that they give a name and address for the record. Hearing none. Is there anyone present who wishes to make a presentation in or speak in support of the application other than the applicant or agent, and request that they give their name and address for the record? Hearing none again. Does the applicant or agent have any comments in respect to the application? I don't think we have anyone present. Any questions from the committee members?
Bruce,
Yes, Ed.
I just wanted to add for the committee members that I have issued a permit for the existing building based on the 15-foot height. And then in speaking with the applicant, she wants to actually increase the height so that the construction has started. I'm going to ask her to submit new drawings if approved to new drawings to reflect the height difference that they're asking for.
Okay, thanks, Ed. Any other comments? Yes, Brad.
Just curious, Ed, just whether or not the increase in building height will affect her spatial separation requirements? If maybe you don't know that yet.
Yes, no, they shouldn't affect it. I think on one of the drawings it actually shows the setbacks to property lines, and I think she's got more than enough there.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, concerns? Seeing none, are we ready for a motion? Moved by Bill. Second by Brad. that the committee approve the application for minor variance A10 2021 as submitted by Brian and Melissa Breers, affecting property described as part lot 27 and part lot 28 of Plan 458, known as 6681 Perth Line 88 in Kurtzville in the Wallace Ward, to increase the maximum permitted height for an accessory building from 4.5 meters, which is 15 feet, to 6.55 meters, which is 21.5 feet, to permit the establishment of a detached storage shed with an increased height. All in favor? Carried. Okay. That's all. That's the agenda for this evening. I declare the public hearing closed. Any other business? Seeing none. Correspondence? No correspondence. Okay, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Brad? Bill? All in favor? The meeting does now adjourn at 7:28 p.m. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a good evening.
Yeah,
Take care,
thanks.
everyone. See
Yeah,
you next
bye-bye.
time.